request our HOD Dr. Gurminder Kaur ma'am to honor the chief guest, Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Gurmeet Singh sir of Pondicherry University. Please. Now I call to our Dean, Professor Gurmeet ma'am, to give a welcome address.
Good afternoon, everyone, and I would request my very dear student Anushka to relax a little bit. Yes, so I'm extending a very warm welcome to all the esteemed guests who have joined us today, along with all the participants and students from various departments. First of all, I would like to inform that our Dean, Professor Victor Anand Kumar, is expected to join us at any minute since he is occupied in his departmental visits with regard to IAAC verifications that are going on. So, a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Gurminder Kaur, presently the head in charge in the School of Law. And I believe some of you may not have heard about School of Law too much earlier. And a team of 4 very promising and energetic assistant professors had joined about a year ago, and we have since then tried to make our presence felt. In the spirit of celebrating India's G20 presidency, I took up this initiative in order to organize an interdepartmental quiz at a very, very simple level of knowledge, only to ensure that there is some basic awareness amongst our youngsters, amongst our students, with regard to a few things which are very, very relevant to our identity as a nation. And so with this, we have conducted the quiz today. And on the occasion of the prize distribution of the same, I welcome our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Gurmeet Singh ji. And I thank him for taking out time from his very, very tight schedule, as always, to come and bless us all, and please big round of applause for that. I would also like to take this opportunity to welcome as well as congratulate Professor Rajeshwari ma'am. She has very recently assumed the office of the Dean in the School of Ramanujam School of Mathematics in the Pondicherry University. And also I would like to welcome Dr. Kritika. She is the HOD in the Department of Statistics, and I also, on my personal level, want to extend my gratitude to her for her cooperation today with regard to providing us the venue, which is very, very comfortable and very suitable for a medium-sized gathering like this. Thank you so much, ma'am. The competition today saw not a very, very heavy-duty response, I would say. But overall, we had 12 participating teams from different departments like Department of Mathematics, Department of Hindi, Media and Mass Communication, Department of Political Science, Department of Sociology, Department of Social Work, Department of Statistics, and students from LLM, PG Diploma in Criminology and Forensic Science from the School of Law, and also students pursuing MA SEAL program, Socio-Economic and Economic Development and Law. And also I extend the similar welcome on behalf of my Dean. So we are expecting him to join us anytime soon. And with this, I would now request our Honorable VC Sir to kindly deliver the felicitation address and share a few thoughts with our students.
Well, friends, Dr. Gurminder, Dr. Kritika, Dr. Rajeshwari, and all other staff members are sitting here. And above all, my dear students, though they are not in large numbers, whenever there is a function in a department like law, the room is always packed. But here I can understand the department is in its infancy, and the time when it is being organized, the university is not in full swing. So I can understand whatever number is there, but it's heartening that Department of Law has taken a lead in organizing something related to G20. Is it only on G20 or something else as well?
Sir, it was basically about awareness about Indian polity and governance.
Okay. So G20 is one, then Indian politics and governance. These are very important areas, very important area in the context of university corporate life. Let me tell you, why is it important? Many of our senior lots, I'm telling you senior lots, not students, they will not know when we move out, they'll see a constable standing and somewhere there'll be a sub-inspector standing. They won't know the difference that who's senior and who's junior. They will say, oh, there was a senior police officer standing there. They won't understand. And then there is a gazetted officer and non-gazetted officer. Then gazetted officer class 1, class 2, class 3 has been now removed. They won't understand what are these. And when they go to a ministry or elsewhere, they will not understand what is an undersecretary or who is a joint secretary, who is secretary. They will say that, well, VC secretary is sitting there. Oh, he's secretary. And I have seen in the ministry, secretary is a very powerful person. So our VC secretary is also equally powerful. They will not understand what is the difference between this secretary and another secretary. This is where it comes in governance, and this is very important in our corporate life to understand who does what and what is the setup that we have. How do we govern? What is the kind of governance system we have? They won't understand what is Rajya Sabha and what is Lok Sabha. They will not understand how many states of our country have two legislating houses. They will not understand who is the speaker and who is the chairman of Rajya Sabha. They will say, well, speaker of Rajya Sabha. You know, these are the terms they very loosely use everywhere. People will not understand what is Minister of State and a cabinet minister. They will not understand what is minister in a state like Tamil Nadu and the overall minister in a country. So all these things should be known. I am of the opinion it should be known to every student who enters the university. But unfortunately, you leave aside yourself. I am talking about the senior levels. Even they will not understand. So much so that when people would become vice chancellors, unfortunately, even they are not aware what is the ranking system or what is the governance, what kind of a model we have. And when they go to defense establishment, they will not understand whether a major is senior or a general is senior, or in terms of naval and army, what is the equivalence of a colonel in navy, or what is the equivalence of a general in navy. They won't understand. Anybody who comes in will say, oh, some big officer came to my office. Air Force is less known. Here, Army, Navy is a little better known, but Air Force is least known. But then they have equivalences. They have equivalences here in these services as well as in police. What are their equivalences? People will not understand. Leave aside this. When I go over to certain lesser known services like CISF or GRE, Reserved Engineering Force, BSF, CRPF, they will not understand what are these. So they are very important, and I am sure when they have given you a quiz on this, probably at least people would have tried reading about this. I remember in good old days when I was in 6th class, we used to be given lessons in UNOs, study about UNO, and people used to wonder, where is the necessity for all this? Why your school is wasting time? Now I realize that whatever I studied there, I still remember by heart. And at the end of the year, there would be an exam on this, where whatever we score, we would be given a certificate. And I still have that certificate with 97% marks in this, on UNO. Now this is required, and when I was conducting interview about a political science department, believe me, I asked many this question, where is International Court of Justice? And they were saying Bombay. Funny answers like Dhaka or Islamabad. You know, this is strange answer. And when I leave aside number of judges which are there, who was the Indian judge who served there for the longest, people never heard of what is it. People never heard of Security Council. People never talked about what is permanent membership and rotating membership and all these things. I am talking about interviews which I was conducting for political science departments, international relations department. They won't understand. If I will tell them that, can you name the 5 oceans, they will not be able to name. Worst was when I was interviewing AR level officers, and I asked them who is our Prime Minister. one fellow said, Mr. Amit Shah. And then I said, if Mr. Amit Shah is the Prime Minister, then who is the President? He says, Mr. Narendra Modi. AR officer, I mean, interviewing for this position. Now there, why I am giving you so many examples is that there our law department can play a very leading role. And a lead in that leading role would be when they organize quiz competitions like this. G20, of course, is a far cry because it has come into picture now when India assumed the presidency of this. Before that, very few would know what is G20, what is G7. All those things were not known. G20 now is known because everywhere there is a word G20. This is equivalent to a time when we started nanotechnology science and nanotechnology became very popular. Then you will find whether people will understand or not. In parliament, every parliamentarian will get up, I want a nanotechnology institute in my constituency, without understanding what is it. So this is the way things were being looked into, and unfortunately the awareness was extremely low. Now G20 we have assumed now, this is the presidency which is given in rotation. Last presidency was, I think, with Egypt or Indonesia? Indonesia. Next one is with Egypt, I suppose. Brazil. I'm glad you know that. So this is the way it was passing on, and nobody knew what is G20, what is presidency, what is the importance of this. It is only when we assumed presidency, people have come to know what is it. You would have talked about what is the total GDP of the world which is there with these 20 countries. 80%. You are answering right. So these are the things which are to be known, and why this is important. It has become all the more important now because all these countries are fairly important countries. World is passing through a very critical phase. There are wars, there are all kinds of famines, all kinds of difficult situations. So this group of nations will play a very important role in harboring peace towards everywhere, in all bodies. Now India assuming a presidency of this at a time when we are facing all kinds of problems is very important in the sense that our policy has been one of coexistence, one of cooperation, one of peace, one of giving respect to everybody. So with our policy, everybody respecting this policy, everybody respecting our presidency, and these nations put together collectively would become a force to reckon with under the leadership of a country which is not looking for one's own interest. They are looking for the interest of the world peace, sense of cooperation to be enhanced in the world. That's what they are looking for. And India's presidency at this time would play a very decisive role in ushering in a peaceful area in the world. That is why you would have, if you have noted carefully, none of our country's statesmen would have given something related to war, something which will escalate the situation. They would have always talked about all statements that you look at, that all this can be achieved, peace can be achieved, better relations can be achieved through negotiation. So we believe in this, and as I said, this group of nations is a very forceful body, and this forceful body has become all the more important because they are under the leadership of India, which is harboring these policies. So with this kind of a policy, anywhere a group sitting together and forcing their way into opinion of the world, it'll usher in a peaceful era. We are passing through a very difficult time, and you have seen Ukraine-Russia war, China and other countries are having very poor, bad relations. Taiwan and China are having very difficult relations. South China Sea is having its own problem. Vietnam is also having difficult time. Indo-Pacific area is very difficult area. SAARC countries are having its own difficulties. The important trade route that we have now, most important trade route, that is Indian Ocean, that is also having a difficult time because others are not towing the line that we want them to. So things are changing, and under these changing circumstances, if there is a leader which is leading a group of powerful nations, and the leader is ushering in a policy of peace, cooperation, it will go all the way, long way in ushering in better kind of a word which will be good for everybody. That is why G20 presidency is important. Otherwise, I don't think you talk to your parents, they would have never heard about G20, and talk to other friends. Before India took over presidency, none of you would have been probably aware of what is G20. To me, people will say it is Gurmeet 20, G20. Anything you would say, because we were not aware of this. But now, this also I asked, what is G20? And people were not knowing this. They will say it's some group of, I said, what group of business houses? They will not know that it's a group of nations. Unfortunately, I'm telling you, scenario is that bad. So to do all this, Law Department has taken a lead, and it is Law Department which can probably guide, which can educate, which can coach, which can train our students towards governance. And law is the best department to do this. Law is number one, and then other could be political science and international relations department. If these two departments would join hands together, probably a right kind of awareness would be created in the minds of young ones. Teachers, of course, if I tell them, they will look at Google, they'll read here and there, and this will be created. In my opinion, if a university student has to be a right kind of a student, so-called the smart student, this is the time of smartness, smart cities, smart dresses, smart arguments. So if a real smart student has to be there, he has to be aware of all this. And this, to create this kind of an awareness in a place like ours, I think law can play a very, very vital role, and which is what has initiated, which has started from this kind of a program. I am delighted to see this, and I am sure that the department shall continue these kind of endeavors. They should organize lectures on environmental laws. Probably you would have never heard about what these environment laws were, when did they start, why did they start, all those things. They are equally important. And if you read about this, then you will probably make your in and around much better. You will never hurt a plant in that way. And laws related to your family matters, laws related to your finances, all those are very important things. And gradually, with the law department organizing programs of this kind, would help you in becoming a much better, not only a much better student, but a much better citizen of the country, which in my opinion is more important. So you can think of designing 1 week short-term course upon about international law, or a course on finances, a course on tax laws, a course on general governance, a course on our civil services. All those things, if you keep on doing it, not necessarily 7 days, even 2 days course can be enough for our faculty and students. It will go a long way in enriching your knowledge to a level where we would be proudly saying, well, here is a student who has come from Pondicherry University. I was delighted when I was conducting the interviews for UPSC aspirants, civil servants. There were brilliant students who were exceptionally good. And I came across one who said, sir, I passed out 8 years back from Pondicherry. And whatever we were asking, he was churning out answer one after another. So I want those kind of students to be coming out of our university, which will be the right kind of a desirable thing for us. So I'm sure with this kind of an initiative, it will be the beginning of golden era for our university. I wish you all the very best. I'm delighted that you've organized this. And I'm sure every student would have enjoyed it, would not have taken it as a burden. Let me also tell you one last sentence. You would do very well in your career if you start enjoying whatever you're doing. If you're studying for this kind of a quiz, if you enjoy, you will find you will retain very fast. If you take it as a burden, you will never be able to do very well. So whatever you do, be it learning music, listening to music, debates, organization, or whatever, if you enjoy that, you will tend to do very well. And I'm sure you would have enjoyed this. I wish you all the very best, and wish the Law Department to continue with their endeavors of this kind. All the very best, and God bless all of us.
Thank you so much, sir. Your words were beautifully inspiring, and as always, you share some of your personal experiences to inspire our youngsters, including myself, so much more. With excellent performance for the UNO paper in class 6, if sir can remember his 97% grading, I wonder where we stand. So with this, I completely take note of all the suggestions and the beautiful direction that you have shown for our future endeavors, and I'm very confident that my team would be taking it up. Thank you so much, sir. And on this occasion, I would also like to bring to everybody's knowledge that the School of Law for the very first time has made an official endeavor to come out with some recruitments for the students passing out from the School of Law. Not only the students pursuing Masters of Law, but also students pursuing PG Diploma in Criminology and Forensic Sciences. And in the process of the same, for reaching out to different recruiters or prospective recruiters, we have come out with our placement brochure, and I would request the dignitaries on the stage to kindly release that.
Now it's the most awaited part of. Now it's the time for the most awaited part of the session. I would like to invite Dr. Gurminder Kaur ma'am to distribute the participation certificates and award for the prizes to the respective position holders.
Good evening, one and all. I take this privilege to propose this vote of thanks formally on behalf of School of Law. At the outset, our heartfelt gratitude to our Honorable Vice Chancellor for joining us despite his busy schedule. We know there is a lot of schedule which is tightly packed for him there, but he could find some time and he joined us for this quiz program. And definitely this is a sign where our top leader from the institution can motivate the students. Thank you once again for doing that, sir. And I would like to extend my gratitude and thanks to both the professors who are here. One, Professor Rajeshwari, the Dean from School of Mathematical Science, and the other, Dr. Kritika, HOD from Department of Statistics. And I can see other academic members who have joined us here. Our team leader, as I always mention, Professor Victor Anand Kumar, who was behind us, who keeps motivating us in all these programs. And the entire team here, our head in charge, Dr. Gurminder Kaur, and the other faculty members, Dr. Tenzin and Dr. Shamtanu Paul. A special thanks to all the students who are running behind us, doing all the works. Thank you. Keep doing this. Thank you for all the support, and special thanks to the media department and the horticulture, to the electrical wing for all the support that they have extended. A special mention here on planning and development, who have approved this project, this assignment for us, and that's how we were able to organize this. Thank you once again. Thank you all.